Shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Rakakadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the Lashawan Kadash. All right, Lashawan equals language or tongue, Kadash equals holy, so that's the holy language, the holy tongue. Paleo Hebrew is ancient Hebrew. Okay, Paleo equals ancient. All right, so we come to those names through the Spirit. All right, through evidence, that's out there, written in stone, etc., etc. True names: Yahawah Ba'Shem, Yahawashi Ba'Shem Rekakadash. Yahawah is the Father's name. That means He is, He exists. Yah meaning He, Hawa meaning to be or to exist. Bahasham means in the name. So He is in the name. Yahawashi, that's the Son's name, which means He saves, He delivers. Yah once again meaning He, Hawashi meaning to save or to deliver. All right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ or Yeshua or these false names, but those are not His correct names. That's not His proper name. All right, so His true name is Yahawashi. And then Bahasham in the name Rakah, which means spirit, Kadash, holy. All right, the spirit that's holy. So we come to you in those names. You should pray in those names, call upon those names. Those are the true names. Before we spoke the English, the Latin, the French, the patois, whatever it be, we spoke the Lashawan Kadash. And we being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, or the foreign individual that's scattered amongst the heathen, looking like the heathen, but is indeed an Israelite, right? So it's about bloodline. It's not about skin color or skin tone or any of that. All right, it's about the bloodline and the spirit that's in an individual that would bring them to being an Israelite. And you could go get that in Romans 3. Salaki, Romans 9 and 3, Romans 9 and 4, all right, Jeremiah 12 and 9, Hosea 1 and 10. Okay, our people are going to look many different ways, many different types, many different what you want to say archetypes of what an Israelite is. All right, you can have an Israelite that looks like a so-called YT man, or an Israelite dark as Wesley Snipes. All right, it all depends on the path and the mingling of his forefathers. Right, so you know. Second, I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us His truth. All right, that's still preaching today, still bringing out lessons every single day, as true elders should do, and that's what they're doing, right? And shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as one third men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. All right, this lesson is brought to you in the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah Ba'Shem, Yahawashi Ba'Shem Kakadash. All right, once again, those are the true names. Now, this lesson will be entitled Analyze Your Investment Portfolio. Okay, and we mean this in a spiritual sense. Okay, your investment portfolio. To analyze means also what? To be circumspect. All right, let's get that real quick. You wanna really and examine, as the scripture states. You want to examine yourself. So it goes into examining your actions and examining everything that you're putting in. Okay. Um, Before I came into the truth, being in the world, I did stocks, and I used to live off of it, like heavy. I'm talking about uh, big moves. I was doing options. I was weighing the costs. I was doing this. I was making like 1,000 every day, man. All right, 100 here, 100 there, 500 here, 500 there. I was deep into it. All right, that was my life. I was like, yo, this is gonna be my job. I'm gonna be like Wall Street, you know. So you have what you would call an investment portfolio, where everything that you got these stocks. All right, these gonna make me some money in this amount of years. These gonna make me some money quick. I'm gonna invest in this, and this is gonna pay off this way, right? So ultimately, Yahawah had it where um, I left that alone, and it phased out because it you see in it puts like money on the forefront. And it if you can't really, not having the spirit and not being protected by Yahawah Hashem Yahweh Shadow, it'll drive you crazy in a sense. All right, where it's a lot going on with that, and then you gotta You just gotta, you all caught up in Esau's world. But it would lead you to learn more about the corporations and the businesses and how this will affect this business and this affect this business and all that type of stuff, man. But it's just the craziness of the world, and it leads you to see how some of these stocks and these companies are manipulated, where BlackRock or Vanguard, these two major, and Blackstone also, these major investment companies can go and manipulate a certain stock to make it rise or to make it fall, right? You got what you call hedge funds. These individuals that are pulling, they got millions of dollars invested in certain companies. Now, let's say they take a million, let's say they take like 500 million out of Tesla, then that stock is going to drop, you know, but they'll cause other people to go and do that, and then the stock can drop. And then they might, what they say, buy in at the low. They might buy in at that point in time, and boom, they know. And it'd be like inside trade. Oh, I got an inside tip. This is about to happen. This is about to happen. You know. Now, bringing it back to the truth, we got that inside. We got that inside tip. We got the blueprint. We got the understanding. We can see the third temple being built, which is us, which is the men. We can see New Jerusalem. We can see that taking place. So we have that inside tip. So what we telling our people? Sirach 5 and 7. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 5 and 7. All right, make no tarrying day to day. But this is the time. So you need to invest your time, which that's ultimately the most, the most valuable thing you have right now. You need to invest your time, majority of it, into this truth. All right. So when you analyze your investment portfolio, analyze your deeds and what you're doing and where you're putting majority of your time, what's real currency, right? Let's get a precept. This is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahawashi Hamashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. So you gotta check your portfolio, your bank account. You know, look at your works. Am I being consistent? Do I have that same fire? Am I still pushing it out? Am I doing what I'm doing, or is it just a routine? Yeah, lesson every day. All right, 10-minute lesson here, 10-minute lesson there. You know what I'm saying? Or are you still in love? Right? You gotta remain a constant love with Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And everything that the husband is showing us, I would think you would be more in love with him today, because everything that he said is taking place. Okay? It's showing that his word is true. Everything that he stated is taking place, man. We seeing it firsthand. Turmoil, people against people, sedition amongst governments, right? Outrage of the people, earthquakes, pestilence, war, rumors of wars. All of this is at the top. Tensions are rising. You know, you got China. I was watching a documentary last night, and Lord willing, I'll do a lesson on it later on. But you got China and Japan really getting into it. And Japan, they got this new prime minister, this female, okay? And she's about building up their defense, more so building up their offense, their military, where they normally invest 50 billion into the military. Now they went up 10 billion. And for them, that's a massive change. That's a massive difference to put more money into their military. So they're coming at a different pace. They know that, hey, war is about to break out. And China is on the fence with them. Russia is also on the fence with them. They're disputing over certain islands, because where Japan is, it's right there off the coast of China, you know, but it's also a long island, so it's kind of running up on the coast of Russia as well. And it's on the coast of North Korea. So those three countries are opposed to Japan, because Japan is aligned with who? The whore, you know? And Japan, going back to World War III, allowed the whore to, World War III. World War II, after that all took place, they had an agreement where the whore, America, Babylon, could come and build all these bases on Japan soil. So what North Korea, China, and Russia looks at that as yeah, they oppose Japan and all of that, but also that's a base, that's a major base from America. The whole island basically set up from that. When you're looking at war, you're looking at strategy. You're looking at where your enemy can hit you from. America has over 10 bases in Japan, so therefore they're gonna strike from Japan. It would make sense. I mean, why would you not use that? So they're examining the entire situation, right? So when we're examining ourselves, we're examining what we're doing, the consequences of the actions, regardless if it's small or large, small matters or big matters. You know, how is this going to affect me later on? You know, and that's what most people do not, they don't have, because you would see our people, we would tell them, hey, don't eat this, don't eat that, you know, the pork, lobster, crab, shrimp, shellfish, but they don't care, and they don't care about the consequences that's going to come with that. And then 5 years, 4 years down the line, when they're facing high blood pressure, they're facing cancer, they're facing all this type of stuff, and they're crying about it, they got a sob story. But you never considered what was what was going to happen to you by doing these actions. Let's go to Isaiah 1. This is Isaiah 1 and 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yahawah have spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Now, how do you rebel against the Most High? How do you love him, first of all? Right? Let's go to 1 John. This is 1 John 5 and 2. By this we know that we love the children of power, when we love power and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God. This is the love of Yahawah, man. That we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So if you rebel against him, you're going against that love that you're supposed to give him. You're going against his commandments. You're going against his word, right? So how do you not love him? Is by despising him, neglecting his word, rejecting his word. So it's important that you keep that word, that you listen, because also if you don't listen to the law, then what? Your prayer is an abomination. Let's get that in Proverbs. What's that? 28 and 19, I think. So it's important to keep the word of the Most High. Just how your parents would tell you to do this, 28 and 9. All right. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So this is far more higher than your parents telling you to not eat this, telling you to live this way, telling you not to mess with another man's wife, telling you to not, all this type of stuff that he's giving you instruction upon, okay, to better your life. Y'all always asking, where's God? And God don't do this for me. And God, well, do you listen to him? Do you do this for him? Are you taking it upon yourself to listen to him and do what he instructed? So when you go and ask him to do something for you, why would he help you when you never you couldn't even keep the instruction that he given to you? So you got to analyze the investment portfolio, and are you putting your funds in the correct place and properly, right? You got to do it the right way, because hey, you put your money with the devil, that's like a bad investment. And that's what our people don't understand, but they're making that investment every single day, man. That's a constant investment. You're aligning with this guy, and he's taking your money, talking about he gonna make it flip. Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw your stock, so I'm gonna throw money over here. This stock about to rise, this stock about to rise, all this shit about to fall. It's a Ponzi scheme, but you can't recognize it, you can't understand it. When the safe bet, it might take longer for your money to grow, all right, but the safe bet is with Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, but you want that fast cash, you want that fast rise, you want that, you know what I'm saying? Many fall that way. Many lose that way quickly. All right. So going back to Isaiah 1 and 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel do not know my people doeth not consider. They don't consider. So if they don't consider who the Most High is, his ways, and the things that he say, and what he's telling you to do, all right, then they're not going to consider his laws, commandments, and statutes. They're not going to consider that death comes from not keeping these things, that he is a real God. He does work. He's not sleep. Okay? He's coming forth. True. All right? Yeah. Get you up out of here. Okay? So it goes back to that consideration, and consideration will hold you accountable. You will hold yourself accountable because you're considering the actions that come from what you're doing, the consequences that come from what you're doing. You know, it's about thinking before you move and not being haste, but thinking about every different path that this action could take. Hey, this could end up this way, this could end up that way. You know, I used to read the 48 Laws of Power. You know, and one of those laws is basically to go in, never boast on what you can do, but undersell yourself. Okay, you want to go in, you know, I can do this, but then overachieve, then hit a higher note than you could do. You don't want to boast on something, because what if you can't do that? What if you fail? What if something come up, you know, and you couldn't reach the goal that you promised? So you wanna be humble, right, and speak low in a sense. Yeah, okay, I'll do that for you. But then you knowing you could do more than that, and you reach that height, right? So you don't like they say, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't wanna just go, you know, boasting, because the people in the world, they boast, they talk shit, they joke, they do all of that, and then they fall short. All right. We trust in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and we know, matter of fact, it's a scripture that attests to that. All right. Don't boast day to day. Let me see if I can get that. This is Proverbs 27:1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So we not about to sit here and not making no 2-year plans. Hey, in 2 years, I'm about to move to England or some shit like that. No, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, bro. All right? You got to, and that goes back to considering, knowing that the will of the Most High is being done. Okay? And his will is not for this place to continue, for this empire, this kingdom, this wicked heaven to continue, this wicked rulership to continue, but what's his will? And you need to align. So going back to the investment portfolio, invest into what he's investing in. Invest into what he's doing at this point in time. And that's having the spirit of prophecy. Knowing where Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is leading this planet and what's about to take place. You know, if you don't know the path and the destination that the caravan is moving, and we going east, but you wake up and you go west. You like, oh, I'm gonna get a head start. I'm gonna go west. You know, I know y'all going this way, but we ain't going that way. So what are you gonna find yourself? You're gonna one day look around and be like, why is nobody? Where's everybody at? I was trying to get a head start. All right, that's what these people in the world think they're doing by selling their soul, getting all this money, et cetera, et cetera. You think you're getting a head start and you're winning in this thing we call life, but you're really losing because you're going the wrong way, and the Most High Yahawah and Yahawashi is not moving that way. So you woke up early and you started going west, but we was heading east, and now you're looking around and boom, you don't have any protection around you. You got protection with the men of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Okay, you out here for the wolves to devour you, you know. Then you get desperate and you just making deals with whoever. Let's go to Isaiah 19, because that's what these people are going to be on. And matter of fact, before I get that, this is Psalms 44:8. In power we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever, right? So that's who we putting all our investments in. We putting all our money in. And yeah, it may be the slow route, as some say, you know, but it's the secure route. It's the route where I know my investment is going to increase every day. I don't got no risk of losing. So it's the safest bet. It's the safest bet. Like you put your money in weapons. Weapons gonna go up. This is a time of war, So that's a safe bet because this devil loves to kill, and every generation he loves to kill. It's always gonna be a war with this devil. So in this kingdom of death, all right, it's always gonna be a war. And this devil right now is involved in over, I believe, like 8 conflicts, you know, and it's more conflicts than they report on the news that's actually going on. American news only giving you Iran and Israel or Ukraine and Russia, but you got all these type of wars that's going on all over the planet. You got many conflicts that's taking place in South America, okay, uh, Africa, right? So you got a lot of disputes and stuff where massive amounts of people are dying, you know. But Esau only gonna give you what he want to give you, and that's a propaganda in itself. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's go to Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah 19, starting at the top. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahawah rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's going to take place. It's talking about purge, civil war, these type of things, race wars. I saw a video yesterday of, I guess, altercation happened in Dallas. These individuals on St. Patrick's Day, you had a lot of Jake down there, and you had a lot of Edomites, and they got into a massive brawl. And you see Jake just knocking out Edomites, and then you see Edomites ganging up on Jake. It was funny though, because like one Jake was taking like 5 Edomites with him. He just boom, 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 you know. And then they would all gang up on him and finally get him down on the ground, and they would stump him, and looked into it the same. I guess it's probably some Antifa or something planned, because similar encounters also happened in Chicago, all right, and another city. So we see all over the America through what they put out, going back to Trayvon Martin, all right, going back to everything that they publicized, because that's a common occurrence, but they made it a massive thing. This is why George Floyd would get all that publicity when this is a common occurrence. This ain't nothing new. The devil been doing that type of shit like that. All right? But they're building a racial tension among people. All right? They're setting a narrative of, we want you niggas and you crackers to fight. All right? This is what we need. So this civil war can really take place. And the massive amount of people are gonna see. And hey, it's supposed to be the sons of Israel against the sons of Greece. We understand that, But you're supposed to have a spiritual understanding not to get involved into any of this BS, because this is what the government is pushing. You're supposed to wait on Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and we know that. All right? Where's our investment in seeing Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi? We ain't got to rush for our investment. Nah, it's nothing we could do. We just got to let it build, and it's going to get to that threshold. It's going to get to that point, and boom, it's going to skyrocket one day. And that's when Yahawashi comes back, because we made the proper and the correct investment. All right? You individuals out here, if you're not analyzing and seeing where you're putting your time into, is it going to pay off, or is it going to eventually, because that temporary life, you selling your soul to gain the world, that's going to hit a certain peak, and then it's going to plummet, and it's never going back up. It's no hills with that, All right? Keeping it going. Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. It shall what? It shall fail. So everything that you've been investing in, it's going to eventually fall, man. It's going to come collapsing. You're going to be like, man, I put 20, 30 years into this job, man. I did overtime. I did, and they just let me go like that. That's what's gonna happen though. They never cared about you. You thought they did. You was employee of the month every month until you wasn't. All right. They just let you go, Ronald. They just let you go, Devon. They just let you go. It's Jake. Jake is the last to get hired, the first to get fired, man. Hey, we're having some cutbacks. You know, we gotta let you go. I've been here 20 years. I've been here, or it'd be like I've been here 19 years. On my 20th year, I would have got a pension. Oh, we gotta let you go. You know, getting too close to that pension. And it's that. But they'll make up some whack ass excuse. This happened to my pops, man. And, you know, working at a place for all these years and about to get retirement, and they let him go like a couple months before that. And this is the devil. It's the curses. All right. We are cursed in the field, man. We cursed on this earth. We cursed in this place. You know. So it is what it is. This place is it ain't built up for you, man. It's built to destroy you. So Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So the counsel, all this type of stuff is being destroyed. It's no more wisdom into mind, as we know. You know, Esau is being exposed. So with that being said, what are they doing? We saw them at the WEF meeting. Was that last year or 2 years ago? Where they had that witch on stage trying to put a curse on the planet. I mean, people should have questioned that, man. But hey, these unelected officials still in power. You know, nobody saying nothing about it. They just literally had a witch come on there and try to cast a spell. And we know them enchantments ain't working on us. All right? And you could do all that all that shit, but that shit ain't gonna work, man. You sound stupid. You sound dumb because your power has no power. Your God is not real. All right? You gotta go dust your God off, man. You weak ass Hamites. All right? You weak ass, all you other nations, man. With these false gods. Go dust Buddha off. Moab and Ammon. Well, make sure you clean that nigga. Because he can't clean himself. All right? Verse 4. But, hey, it's telling you they're going to seek to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. The same way that you people seek zodiac signs and this and that. You seeking a different covering over you and you're denying Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. So the whole time you lived on this planet, you put your investment into something that's not going to pay off. You put your investment into something that's never, it may seem like it's building because you're receiving benefits, but you have not known Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, second address. And 9, you're receiving these benefits, all right? You getting the car, the house, you getting all this type of stuff, okay? And you think you're getting it, you know, you're comfortable, okay? But, hey, I would rather be on daily bread, on edge in a sense, check to check, than being too damn comfortable, because comfortability, it gets you off your toes and it makes you weak, you know? We getting our daily bread, we being taken care of, and Thawadi Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, but we ain't comfortable. Why the fuck? I don't want to be comfortable in a burning house. You might fall asleep. Wake up in the spirit world. Verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. These Egyptians, all right, Americans, Babylonians, individuals now living, all right, and you're putting your trust under this strange king. You're putting your trust under this cruel Lord, which is, we see now, if anybody can't see it, DJT Neuro. This man is extremely cruel, right? He's at this point, he's risking, he don't care because he got the money. So he don't care if the gas go up, the food go up. You got, man, I saw a lesson this brother did last night. And what's his name? GMS Ford. Forgot the last name of the page. But brother did a lesson last night where some of these grocery stores, they're not stocking because of the production costs of this food and stuff. They can't pay for it. So that's what you're gonna see. And as it says, man, you're gonna have the storehouses are suddenly gonna appear empty. And how is that coming? That's by what this man is doing to limit the source, the resources coming in. Okay. And we're seeing that. But y'all invested into this guy. Trump 2024, Trump 2020, whatever. You invested into this guy. MAGA. All right. Make America great again. It was never great. There's no point in time in America history where you could say this bitch was great for everybody. It was not great. All right. But you got blacks for Trump, niggas for Trump, Latinos for Trump. All right. You had all these different people for Trump, man. You know, y'all deserve exactly what y'all getting. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahawah, Yahawah of hosts. And the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither. The paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brook shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. Hey, Revelation 17 and 16, what? They're going to make her naked. They're going to make her naked. Which first, they're going to economically destroy her and starve her out. You know? Then, they're going to what? ICBM. They're going to take her out in that way. So, first and foremost, America's going to be cut off. She's going to be cut off from the source, cut off from all this. Russia just now, you know, like a couple days ago, they saying that they're cutting Europe off from all energy. So that's anything energy-wise. They're going to cut off. This war, as we see, is economic tensions first, and then it's going to get physical, as all wars do. You know? So, like, because why would you support your enemy, man? I play this game, like Bannerlord 2, and on the game, it's a war game. On the game, when you go take over a place, you lay siege to that place, and you make a blockade, okay? And you try to, it got on the game, it got on the thing. How many days into the province is without food? So it'd be like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever, you know. And I'd be like, all right, we got enough food. So we gonna chill out here and we gonna starve them out. And then as you starve them out, let's say it'd be like 1,000 troops in there. They go down 900, 800, 700 because they're without food. So they're starving. So I want to get that number down. I came with like 1,500 troops. I'm gonna get that number down to like 500, 400. I'm gonna starve them out. So therefore my the battle, when I do go in and fight, will be far easier. Okay? So economic warfare is the first way that you come into place. You know, you hit them. This is why, and Trump been doing this shit. What has he been doing his whole time? Sanctions. You don't want to, I'm sanctioning this country. I'm sanctioning this country. So anybody sitting over here acting like America is not the bad guy, you're delusional, man. This man has been doing economic warfare on all these nations. All right, he's been threatening, and then when they threaten back, because UK said they got tired of it, they threatened back. France got, they got tired of it. These nations are tired of it. They're tired of you threatening them, threatening their resources, threatening trade, threatening import, threatening all this, man. They know they sending all these goods to you. Revelations 18. You're bringing all these goods in, so you're making sanctions on everything that they're selling to you. Man, you can't. That's not good business, man. All right? And he's supposed to be a businessman. He's a businessman. Come on. 8. The fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast anger into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the waters shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax and they that weave networks shall be confounded. All commerce, all these, we saw in 2020, all the small businesses was getting took out. Right? And that's been happening, ever since you got these major corporations come. Walmart comes and they sell all this different type of stuff. So what's the need for you to go to the little old local shop that sells flour, the bakery or whatever? I'm gonna just go to Walmart. It's trash because Walmart's material is more, it's trash, but they can sell it for cheaper. All right, so they've been cutting out small business. America doesn't want small business to exist. What they want is all these major corporations that are aligned with RFID technology, all right, all this type of stuff, the system that are aligned with this system to exist. I went in Walmart yesterday. I ain't going there that much, but I went in there yesterday and I was like, I used to go to the self checkout. It's no longer a self checkout now. They got this thing called Scan and Scat or Spark, some shit like that. She was like, you got to download this app. And I was like, oh, that's CBDC. Even though it's not coming in that name, but now I got to download an app to simply use self checkout. Okay. And that's what we're going to see because Fed now, you're going to have to download it. All right. It's all attached to the CBDC, so they're moving towards that process where it's all going to it might have different names, different apps that you got to download, but it's all going to be attached to one digital grid, one digital system, and that's what it is. So Walmart is, of course, moving to that position where, especially where you go into any grocery store these days, you go in there and what they got, one register is taking cash, everything else is card. All right, that's it. And then you're gonna see that register that's taking cash no longer exists. Well, we no longer take cash here. We no longer take coins, or how they used to do. We need exact change. You need exact change because they don't want to deal in physical currency anymore. This digital currency, this digital system has been pushed in front of you. It's right there in front of your eyes. All right? This is gradualism. They're gradually getting you ready for that MOTB. But hey, our people are investing in this type of system, man. Let me see anything else on that. Verse 10, and they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that make sluices and ponds for fish. All right, and I'm gonna let me see. I want to get Matthew 19, and I'm gonna finish it up over here. This is Matthew 19, and let's start at 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahawah. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. All right, going back to loving Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi. All right, and that's where you should be prioritizing that. Keeping the commandments, loving Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, doing things to the best of your ability, putting forth that effort and that time. All right, to prioritize something is to make it that number one. That means you give the most amount of time in a day to it. All right, the time that your free time, because you got work, and Esau tries to keep you busy with work and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then but it forsaking something is like you got work, but you come home. It's not, hey, I'm about to go play the game. No, it's like, hey, I'm gonna get to a lesson, or I'm gonna study. All right, and then it's also using your time wisely, where watch lessons on the way home, watch lessons while you driving, watch lessons in the bath, whatever. All right, you using that time wisely. So it's like, I ain't gonna listen to this song, I ain't gonna listen to this music. I'm gonna just throw on a lesson right now. So using your time wisely to get it in when you got that time. You know what I'm saying? So Yahawashi basically at this point in time is saying, why do you call me good? Because he knew of his past life. He knew what he did before. And as Solomon, he sinned. In his past lives, he sinned. All right? So ain't nobody good. He said, I done came down here, I messed up before. Okay? Romans 3:23. But at this point in time, in this reincarnation, he ain't gonna mess up. Okay? And that's why he would be lifted up and honored and given that position, because he walked that life. Verse 18, he saith unto him, which Yahawashi said, Then thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. For you individuals talking about the law, the Ten Commandments, or the laws are not in the New Testament, what did we just read? It's right there. Okay? He reiterated it. And before the New Testament was even written, what was we keeping? We was reading the Old Testament. We was reading the Torah. We was reading the Psalms. We was reading the wisdom books. We was reading these things, the Apocrypha. All right? This is the basis of the New Testament. This is what Paul was bringing out, recite, to repeat, to cite again. You know? Verse 20. The young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Yahawashi said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. And it goes into, don't be attached to all this stuff that you got. You know, I ain't saying go sell your house, go sell your car. All right, these things are for an ends to a means. All right, in this wicked society, you need a car to go to work. You need work to pay for that car, and then you need that car to go back to work to pay for that car. It's a cycle. It's a stupid cycle, you know. And then it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And we wasn't paying no bills and stuff like that. There ain't gonna be no bills in the kingdom. And you can't even fathom that. You know? There ain't gonna be no stuff like that. Paying for water, paying for food, this stuff is gonna be free, man. Even I watch a lot of Japanese movies, man, like samurai joints and stuff like that, or Shaolin, and it'd be like when a traveler comes to your province or to your dojo or whatever. I'm seeing in a lot of movies the common practice is somebody arrives, you're like bound by the law to feed them and give them a place to stay. That's just common practice. It was just a decency. You know, they ain't have to pay nothing. You just bound by them. They travel to your land, you bound to take care of them. You know, and this is how it's done in Asia, right? And really in the old world, in a sense. All right, so the sense of Esau just came and anything they see where they can get $1 off of it, they'll do it. If they could charge you for breathing, they'll do it. Which they already let you know they make weather, they do all of that. They gonna charge you to make it rain. All right, we're gonna make it rain on Thursday. We're gonna have a rain tax. 10 cents on the dollar for every drop. So they're gonna do it. This is what we're gonna see, man. You know, this damn devil will charge you on everything, man. Verse 23. Then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, verily I say unto you that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of power. And that doesn't mean that brothers ain't gonna have nice things, brothers ain't gonna be set up, etc., etc. But we ain't nobody's rich. You know? Rich is like you own corporations and stuff. Ain't no Israelites out here owning corporations and things of that nature if they in this truth like that. That's why it brings speculation. It brings a cause of concern when you see IUIC worth in the millions, or Bishop Nathaniel having millions of dollars. You know, this stuff is confusing. It's like, what? You know, that's kind of strange. But like I say, man, I'm just a South Carolina boy that don't know shit. You know, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about no 501(c)(3). I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's strange. All right, verse 25. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? But Yahawashi beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, with power all things are possible. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? That means, hey, these it could have been a job that you could have got. All right, you could have been making massive amounts of money, but it would have been taking more time. I've been in part of them jobs, dumb shits, where you working 6 days, 7 days out the week, but you don't got no time. It's like I said, Esau tries to keep you busy working for him, doing his corporations, his occupation. When your true job is this truth. Going back to your investment portfolio, are you investing your time in Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi? Is that your priority? You know? And money is a defense. We understand that, right? But if the job is going to take away from everything that you got to do, hey, it's best to get another job, you know, to choose another path, all right? Using wisdom, of course. You know what I'm saying? Verse 27 again. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Peter is talking about what he invested. He's forsaken all and followed thee. So he's forsaken everything in his life, and he's invested his time into following Yahawashi and following this truth and keeping this truth and keeping this doctrine. So his investment portfolio, when he analyzes it, it's like, yo, I put all my time into following Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. And that's a good investment portfolio, because that right there is going to constantly climb. That right there is going to bring you back every generation, and you're going to be brought back into the truth, you know? So really, ultimately, the ones that got the proper portfolio, all right, they are the ones that are chosen from the foundation of the earth, you know? From the foundation of the earth, they had that right decision, all right, placed into them. Verse 28, and Yahawashi said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, invested in him, in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging 12 tribes of Israel. And this right here is a cut to anybody talking about new covenant already happened, or Yahawashi already came back, 70 AD came back, or you hear all this craziness, man, you know, but it has not happened. Yahawashi has not sat on that throne in the kingdom yet. Okay, the 12 tribes, the 12 apostles have not done this position yet. All right, we haven't walked through those gates yet, you know. So this is a future prophecy that's going to come to pass, and very soon, just based upon everything that we're seeing, you know. So if everything we're seeing, Yahawashi told us about, this is definitely going to take place as well, because of their investment, because of what they did in that life, their past life. All right, you were loyal men, honorable men before. You're going to be that once more. Your lot does not change. You ain't going to change from no righteous man to a wicked man. That's not going to happen. The spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. So you come back to walk in a similar lot, you know. Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So make that proper investment. Don't invest all your time into, my woman, my girl, my baby, my boo, whatever. Yeah. Plenty women come, women go, you know. You know what I'm saying? Now, hey, you got a woman and she a good one. Hey, you as the scripture states, you know, in 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter, yeah, you got to make time for a woman. That's understandable, but that's not your priority. That's not your first love. You know how the world is. She's my first love. That's not my first love. No, that's not your first love. Your first love is this truth. All right? These scriptures, man. It's Yahawashi. You don't put nobody above that. Okay? And if a woman is real and she's really in this thing, she gonna be with it. She gonna understand. She won't come between that. All right? She gonna play her position. She gonna get a hobby. Go get a hobby. Go do some shit. Verse 30. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Because these individuals that's first right now, they made the wrong investment. They didn't listen. They couldn't follow instructions. All right? And when it came to verbally, when it came to it being written down, every single time they dropped the ball. They couldn't understand. They couldn't get it. So those individuals right now would be first because in what? They're receiving their consolation. They're receiving their prize. They're sitting up. They're good. They chilling. But your destruction shall come suddenly. Yahawashi is coming like a thief in the night, man. When you least expect it. Right? Because you join hand in hand with the wicked, you shall not go unpunished. When you least expect it. When you about to chill, you took the chip, you chilling back, you relaxing, then you're going to get that grievous sword. You thinking it's all good. All right? Hey, it is what it is, man. The missiles going to hit, the missiles going to fly, and many going to fly, and many going to die. Now, based upon you analyzing your investment portfolio and what you done put in, how you living, your deeds, you should have, now we say, man, we got confidence. You should have much faith that, hey, you did what you're supposed to do. Hey, it's in the hands of Yahawashi, of course, always. But make sure you meet him where you're supposed to meet him at. Make sure you meet him with these investments. You meet him by putting in the proper time, putting in the proper effort, and doing what you're supposed to do consistently. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's all I got, man. All right, hey, shalom to the board. Shalom, Yahawashi, Barak, Ahtham to everybody. All right, pray this was an edifying lesson, man. I'm going to wrap it up right there. Giving all praises, honor, and glory once again to the Heavenly Father and His Son. Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone once again. And shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. If you can't see the light, you're living in darkness. May Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. As always, Kwam Yasha Allah and Abad Babal. Shalom, shalom.